one of the creators over here put this concept so well, and it completely makes sense. So, a quick Google search, and I found more answers. Gina Chimesi here, your favorite psych nurse practitioner, coming to you with another video talking about how do you heal from narcissistic toxic abuse. Today, today I'm talking about narcissistic abuse and how to heal from it and how we can normalize it as normal top masculine presentation, not toxic, normal masculine presentation. So Nick Canaan, formerly married to Maria Carey, he he has his own podcast, but he's been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. With the DSM-5, with the advent of so many clinicians being here and YouTube and all that, I think this just brings it to fore. With conversation, I know this word is thrown around a lot, but there is a 1 to 2% of people who are diagnosed with this condition in our world. We cannot just go about saying, oh yeah, it's not true, everybody's narcissist. Yes, narcissism, some of the presentation is in the spectrum. Sometimes we all might have tendencies, right? Tendencies. As a psychiatric nurse practitioner, see this in practice all the time. Go get DSM-5. You can buy it. Go to Barnes and Noble and read it, even if you're not a clinician. But it's to say that this disorder is in a spectrum, right? From low to moderate to really severe. And the hallmark is the grandiosity. I'm next to God. I'm the God. The lack of accountability, the lack of empathy for people who empathize towards them, the exhaustion to want to be in relation with that person. Sometimes it's next to zero to have normal. I use normal. I don't like using normal, but to have normal relationship or any semblance of partnership, because they do not like being held accountable. They don't like boundaries. They hate boundaries. They are so grandiose. They're up here. Their egos are up here. Nothing matters. It's all about them. It's very self-centered, self-service driven personality type. So he has that diagnosis. He's going about making a bunch of babies, producing a bunch of broken homes, and especially the male who has had trauma in their own past tend to perpetrate these behaviors, especially if they were neglected, abused. There is a level of trauma in their own childhood, and or they were overly indulged in childhood where they wanted something based on however their background, they were just given on the silver platter, or they're the only son, so their mom just kind of overly indulged them. There was no accountability from the get-go. There was no skill building around emotions, accountability, empathy, how this love show. Or maybe they had issues maybe being inappropriately attached, especially the male child. This is not talked about a lot when male children experience sexual abuse. So, and a plethora of other presentation could be in his childhood, and many other men and or women who might have this personality type. So using relationship or producing children with no accountability, producing single mothers, and also going about maybe not really reverencing or respecting single mothers. Meanwhile, you are producing single mothers. See the mindset, the pattern in thinking, where they do stuff, but when others do it, it's like, what? He's mentioned how he did not like to be relegated to Maria's husband because he has to be the center of her universe, and she was a star already, so he wasn't willing to do that, so he left. And then he is impregnating all this pick me man-centered women to satisfy his needs, in the process making numerous 11 or 12 kids, in the process making a good number of single mothers in the process. So this men find dopamine hit because they don't have empathy. Their brain structure is so differently based on some of the stuff I talk about: trauma, conditioning, red pill, misogyny, plus also them having some childhood stuff that's just not. Now the personality type serves them a lot of times too, because some of these people end up having podcasts or being leaders in churches, being leaders in businesses, being leaders all over, right? So you as a woman have to be aware of what the red flags are. Love bombing can be a red flag, right? Somebody's red flag can be another person's green flag too. So just so you can have empathy for the other person who maybe missed it, maybe thought it was love or care. Love is overrated. Maybe it was care. Maybe they thought they could have a relationship, a solid one for them, but once the mask come off, because they can only pretend as long, and then it's like boom. So Nick Canaan is a classic type of narcissistic, presentation, where it displays, or on the surface level, is this high functioning leader, in the eyes of the everyday people. He's a manly man, right? But when you tease apart the layers and what he's doing, and how unaccountable, how entitled, that's another one, very entitled, very grandiose on, and things he's doing without even being aware of the pain he's causing the children. Talk about ACEs, right? I'm going to attach ACEs, the ACEs presentation score, and things that leads to having childhood adverse experiences, including some of those stuff, having separation, divorce, parents, and having a parent who's narcissistic, lacks accountability, all that stuff leads the children to have childhood trauma. So he's perpetrating this behavior, this trauma, this abuse as it goes on without him even knowing that's what it is. So I'm going to attach the ACEs breakdown here so you can see, screenshot it, leave me a comment to see what are your thought processes around Nick Canaan, his diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder, how we use this disorder, so commonly these days, but it's a real thing because it's a small percentage of people who actually do have the presentation, and what to look for when you're in a relationship with someone like that, when they love bomb you, when they stonewall you, when they gaslight you, when they find flying monkeys who are not going to hold them accountable but enable the behavior to continue to perpetrate it. How they're selfish, self-centered. It's all about sex, and it's all about status as well. So there's a lot in there, but you have to know it, see it, and don't sit with it too long if you don't have the bandwidth to tolerate it, and find steps and next steps to take in order to save yourself. Okay, bye.